Hi, Jackie boy. New World Muscle, good morning. Marta, good morning. Morning, guys. Happy Friday. Shoulder day in the books. I did a bit of a deload week this week. A lot of reps. Not much heavy stuff. A lot of reps, time under tension. Supersets felt good. Shoulders were pumped. Elbow's still bothering me a little bit. It's annoying, but overall I'm feeling pretty good. I started messing with my new scale yesterday. Very cool. I'll have to do a little video on this. I realize now it would be beneficial for me to get an Apple Watch or something that can track all this stuff that I can integrate into it. You can do a lot with this thing. It's a very cool little device to have. Did I watch the Don't Die documentary on Netflix? No, it's on my list for this week. We're still power watching Dexter right now. Power watching Dexter. But we are going to, definitely going to watch that this weekend. Nathan, my man, good morning, sir. Chosen one, did I fart? Not recently. Let a few out last night. I'm still fasted, so my stomach is relatively empty, but the farts will come later. Chosen one, once that protein starts going. Vinny Brothers, good morning. What do you think about glucosamine for soreness? Glucosamine and chondroitin, MSM for joints. Long term, there's some study that suggests that it definitely helps. I give it to my dogs, but I don't think it's going to do much for soreness. That wouldn't be my go-to for soreness, no. As far as soreness goes, hydration is key. Staying ultra hydrated, flush the lactic acid out, keep everything cycling through. Get that waste out properly. Sauna is great for soreness, but really, when a muscle is sore from being tired and worked, it's the nutrition that you can give it that's going to make it feel less sore, feel recovered faster. Mancini, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Edmund, good morning. Matthew, good morning. Scatman, I'm the Scatman. Luke, good morning. Good to see you guys all on here. Another week in. Sorry I'm a little late. I had to meet with my probation officer this morning. Very, very nice guy. It was quick. I like that. Luke says, good morning. Another week. You have bettered yourself, your family, and so many others throughout this week. You got a week close to the goal. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that positive attitude. Giving it right back to you. Thank you. I'm glad that you're doing this here with me. High fat for soreness recovery. The number one factor, as far as if you're going to break down your macronutrients, you need the protein. Scatman, the treadmill makes noise every day, doesn't it? Rob C, what up, what up? Vinny Brothers, if you're not eating enough protein to rebuild the muscle, then you're definitely going to be more sore. So make sure you're getting enough protein, first and foremost. What is the best exercise to start with? The best exercise to start with? Well, I mean, it depends on what body part you're doing. You're doing different things for different body parts. The way that I start each workout is different. However, that being said, Matthew, I do a lot of mobility stuff every day when I get to the gym. I do a little bit of foam rolling real quick. I do a lot of shoulder rotation exercises, stuff for my scapula, some mild stretching, get myself all loosened up. But for each body part I do, I pre-exhaust it. Scatman, I'm sorry that it's irritating you so much. If it bothers you that much today, you might have to check yourself out and then just come back another time, brother man. We're already on here, we're walking, and I don't have a degree in treadmill machinery. I don't have an engineering degree, so we're gonna do it with the sound or not. Right, guys? Mancini, this is how my hair always looks. You guys just never see me with you guys never see me with my beanie off, but I didn't think it was a good look meeting with probation with the beanie on. You know what I mean? Bolshoi is here. What do we got? Shake that thing. Miss Kana, gotta shake that thing. Miss Annabella. Get a little bit of my man Sean Paul in here this morning. TJ Hooker, Nash Bridges. Wow. Funny time period. I think TJ Hooker, personally, a little more suave. What else we got? Coop from Rob C. Oh, Human Centipede or Tusk 2014. Man, that's tough. So, first of all, when Human Centipede first came out, it was really as the youth say, it was a game changer. As far as creepiness and weirdness goes, that guy, can we talk a minute about the doctor from Human Centipede and the version of him that we got in the third one in the prison? What a funny character. I love that character. So, Tusk was really crazy and weird and funny, but I think I gotta go Human Centipede overall. Mancini says it sounds okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, listen, guys. The thing is 10 years old. It's not the quietest treadmill in the world, but it's done me well so far. Vinny Brothers says it's been some time since I've been to the gym, but I'm going back. I like to get a good pump, go hard, and get the most out of it, but will be sore. Now that I'm 35, I want to shorten recovery. Listen, I'm 43, so trust me, I know about the soreness. Listen, the key that I would tell you is do your workouts fast, right? 45 minutes. You don't need to be in there for hours like a lot of these guys. Keep a good pace. Don't do anything less than 8 reps. Take your last set of each exercise to failure. And if you can get some massage, if you can stretch out when you're done, that aids. But listen, the protein, you got to eat enough protein or you're going to be sore. And when you've been out of the gym for a little while, the first couple weeks, you're sore as hell. But once that goes away, you get in a good rhythm. And you're still going to be sore. Listen, I'm sore every day, guys. But it's tolerable. It's part of it. Thank you, Mancini. Bolshoi Kush, Warrant. She's my cherry pie. Or come on, feel the noise. Girls, rock your boat. I think I'm going to go cherry pie on that one. I don't know. Come on, feel the noise. That was a pretty good one, too. I don't know. I'm going cherry pie on that one. You might like Landman on Paramount. It's good. What's it about? Mancini, love me some Human Centipede, buddy. Bolshoi Kush. Did you see the third one? The doctor from the Human Centipede in the third one, so funny, man. As the warden in the prison. Mancini says, I saw the other Abigail yesterday. There's 2 movies called Abigail. Well, the one that I love, Mancini, is the one that came out this year with the little girl who's a vampire, and they go in to capture her. They think they're just capturing this little girl, and she winds up being a vicious vampire, and it's very comical. I really loved Abigail. So, which one did you see? Luke says if you could go back in time and sell any supplement before it was banned, or a fad before it ended, what product would you have loved to made? Well, the problem with that, Luke, is just about everybody that's done that went to prison. And I've had my fill of prison. You know, the Jacked 3D guys went to prison. A lot of the ephedrine guys went to prison. But let's see, maybe if I invented the original Hydroxycut or one of those products that's still around today, was able to reinvent it time and time again, man, I'd probably be a billionaire, right? Crystal Rodriguez says, hey, what up, Crystal? Superstar Billy Graham or Dusty Rhodes? Dusty Rhodes, definitely. Love me some Dusty Rhodes. Yes, Mancini. The girl vampire, that's what I'm talking about. I didn't know there was another one. Which nationality you most likely take as babysitter? Jewish, Mexican, Russian, or Korean? Well, Jewish girls don't babysit. They like to be babysat, so let's remove the Jewish girls. Mexicans are used to having lots and lots of kids, so maybe we go Mexican possibly. Russian, mail order bride system might get me into a little bit of trouble. Korean, I don't know. I'm looking for something like mildly racist and funny to say here, but I don't have anything for my Korean community today. So I think I'll probably go Mexican, Bolshoi Kush. Vinny says, that's what I love. Go hard, not take it slow. Jump right into it. But yes, the first week sucked the most. Yes, the first few weeks, look, you're going to be sore as hell everywhere, regardless. So, you know, you might want to scale back the first couple weeks and then start going harder. Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise or Ford versus Ferrari. Well, different generations once again. So I'm going to go with Ford versus Ferrari because of its place in real history, iconically. Oh, Bolshoi, you haven't seen the third? It's a completely different movie, the third Human Centipede. You gotta see the third. It's the most ridiculous, if you ask me. Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man, ooh. Or Roadhouse with listen, Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze that's an iconic movie. I know, so is the other one. But come on, man, Dalton, the original Dalton, woo. The fight scenes, the very slow, telegraphed fight scenes, you gotta go with Roadhouse all day. How often do I go to karaoke? It's been probably 20 some odd years. I would love to get some karaoke going. Mancini, I'm glad that you saw that one. Since you don't like zombie movies, don't watch The Dead Don't Die. I've actually seen that movie a few times. That's a good one. That's a good one as far as zombie movies go, mostly for the comedic aspect of it. I saw that a while ago. I see that it's out again. Now it's making its way on Netflix. Netflix is late as hell with everything. Melanie, good morning. Good morning. That's how I say good morning to Jen. She's right here. Good morning. Do I sing gospel songs when I pray? I do not. Maybe I should, though. Swanton Bomb or Frog Splash. What? I don't know what either of those are. You got to give me some info. Abigail Haunting. Do you think the hammer is going to come down on all the companies prescribing peptides to people? So, let me answer that two ways. One, it's honestly shocking how far this has come without any arrests or anything like that. It's truly shocking, especially after what I went through. Now, on the other hand, maybe with the changes that are going to supposedly come into place with the FDA, we will see a little more freedom, although it seems like there's a lot of freedom right now. So I have an interesting position on all this, guys, because first of all, I'd love to be able to be involved in that stuff. I'm not allowed to, but nor would I, because I can tell you that's a guaranteed I'm going back to prison. So it's kind of like, why should others be allowed to do that? You know, I don't want anybody to go to prison, especially not for selling something like that. You know, it's just, how can you, persecute one person or one group of people so aggressively over something really more mild than that? It just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. That's my issue with it. Is the second installment where he is gunning with sandpaper? Definitely has shock value. Yeah, so the second one is black and white, most of it, right? The weird, creepy guy, the creepy little fat weird dude in it. The third one is in the prison. Have I seen the remake with Jake and Connor? Yes, I liked it. Kind of corny, but it was entertaining. Luke says the gym was insanity last night. Going to a more hardcore gym, but it was packed. Good to see people working out, but Jesus, no one reacts to weights. Yeah, that's kind of what happens when you get into those hardcore gyms. Usually good energy, but they can get kind of crazy. When I was working out, I really liked to go to the gyms that had all the girls. I didn't really care about strong guys working out in the gym. I know a lot of people like that. Maybe at one point I did, but I wanted to go to the gyms where all the girls were. That was what motivated me to work out. The chicken fence and the bar, yes. Yes, it was. Top 3 things that you notice in a dude that makes your gaydar tick. Very sing-songy voice. You're not going to get any of that hi by me without an instant gay. Anytime I hear anybody talking like that, if they have a girlfriend or something, I'm like, that's such a cover-up. Hey. That's a dead giveaway, that high-pitched twang. What else? I'm trying to think of more sneakier things than that. Because there's some blatant signals, but now, guys, now you have a very, very interesting breed of young man in this world now. Guys that dress pretty fucking gay, the dangly earrings, very short shorts. The guys nowadays kind of look like what George Michael and the guys from Wham looked like in the 80s, and those guys are totally gay. So there's a thing now with these young men that aren't gay, but they could surely fool a lot of people. How many girls have I slept with? I don't know, Red Devil. I've lost count, and I don't even want to know. The one I'm sleeping with now is the best one of them all, by far. I have watched a little bit of Squid Game, Creative Fro, and I wasn't into it. I know it's back. I wasn't into it, though. Point Break 1991 or Speed 1994 with Keanu Reeves. Oh, wow. Classics, but Point Break for sure. The Point Break remake was okay, but, Johnny Utah, the original, it's a classic movie. Tater Todd, PJ, if a baddie at my gym has the same first name as me, what would be a smooth opening line to say to her in case it isn't clear, yes, I want to smack? So, I would just open up with, hey, my name is blank. Nice to meet you. And then she's gonna be like, oh my God, that's my name too. And then you just start talking, going from there. Just go in and introduce yourself nicely. Polite. Boogie Nights 1997 or Magnolia 1999. Oh man, Dirk Diggler's my dude. Gotta go with Dirk Diggler, Boogie Nights. When you're building businesses, how often did you have off days or did something for fun to switch it off? I never took off days ever for years. People thought I was crazy. I was obsessed. But I was having so much fun with it. My first coaching business, Braun Fitness, man, I was turning so many girls pro, and I was so proud of the athletes that I was working with, and it made me feel like I was doing something really good, and man, it was what I'm passionate about, and man, I was just relentless. I wanted more. And then, you know, when I started Blackstone, I was doing them both together. So there was no downtime whatsoever, but I'll tell you, you know, once Aaron started working with me with Blackstone, at the beginning, you know, the first year or so, I was just doing it all myself in the sport bedroom. We started doing a lot of fun stuff together. Because one thing about him, I will say, one thing about Aaron, he's very good at working in the fun stuff. He enjoys doing different things. He wants to make, he wants to make the work fun. So he would be like, hey, we're going to go do this event. We're going to go here. We're going to go a day early so we can hang out and check out the sites. And so, you know, we had a lot of fun with all of the work we were doing. But man, it was very difficult for me to take downtime. I never wanted to take downtime. The Host or Splice 2009. Surprisingly, I'm going to pick Splice for this one. It's a weird but good movie. Pet voice and normal talk voice is totally different, Scatman. Pet voice is as high as you can take it. It's almost like it's almost like a obnoxiously high, as high as you can get it. That's a pet voice. Just a regular higher pitched sing-songy voice in a normal conversation is gay as fuck. And it's extremely common with gay guys. Watch Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. Go talk to a bunch of gay guys. Now you get your bears too. They don't talk like that, but I have ran into some bears that do still talk like that. Melanie is one of the resolutioners. Haven't lived in a while, but headed back. Start leg training. Oh, there you go. Get in there. There's no better time to start than now, guys. Nothing wrong with that. Dean, will I keep cardio Q&A going for a long time? I've been doing it for years, so I'm not going to stop now. I mean, the only time I stopped was when I went to prison. Happy to be back doing it again. New World Muscle says, I refuse to watch Point Break remake or The Karate Kid. Can't make a perfect movie better. So, don't watch the Karate Kid, definitely don't watch. But the remake of Point Break is pretty good just because you have like the X Games athletes doing some cool stuff. There's good camera work. So the action sequences are pretty cool. So you can watch it for that and appreciate that aspect of it. But, you know, I'm with you as far as the remakes. The Karate Kid remake, terrible. Any plans for your birthday next month or too early to tell? So, just so you guys know, if you have been following me for a while or not, I don't give a shit about my birthday. In fact, I try to hide on my birthday because I don't like a fuss being made over me. However, Marissa is very good at making a fuss over me. She's the only person that was ever really able to surprise me with a surprise party one year. She surprised the shit out of me. I always knew when something was going on with my staff and whatnot. So I told her I don't want anything. I don't want to do anything, but I'm sure she'll do something very nice for me. Man, I'm just so happy to be home. I don't know if that'll ever fade. Hostel or Saw? So I love Hostel. I love Hostel. But the Saw movies are some of my favorite movies ever. I love the Saw puppet. I even liked when they did, when they did the last one where I was like, how is he? I thought he was dead. And we went back to before. We did the prequel to how it all came to be, which was actually really good, if any of you guys saw that one. So for all those Saw movies that I've enjoyed over the years, I'm going Saw. But I do really like, the first Hostel's very good. The second one's pretty good too. But overall, I love the Saw genre of movies. Bertie Higgins, Key Largo, or Seals and Crofts, Summer Breeze. Summer Breeze, yes. Two for the Money with Pacino or Moneyball 2011? Man, you know what? I don't know. I have to rack my brain for a second on Two for the Money. Moneyball was a good movie. I can't remember Two for the Money, so I'm going to go Moneyball regardless because it was a good movie. Nathan says he's seen some bears with super high-pitched voices. I have too. It really throws me off when the bears have high-pitched voices. Did you know the actor who played Dexter, Michael C. Hall, is Aquarius? Only Aquarius could hunting down murderers who have not been adequately punished by the justice system. So I did not know that. Now here's my question for you. The actor himself is Aquarius, or Dexter the character is Aquarius, or both? There's an interesting bit of information to have. RKO or the Stunner? Listen, you can't survive either one. You can't survive either one. But also, either one of them, if you did them in real life, you would hurt yourself very bad. If you did, I think we can agree, if you did either of those moves in real life, you would hurt yourself really bad. You're probably going to shatter your tailbone if you actually went through with a stunner. February 22nd is the only birthday in PJ's life that's relevant. Is that your birthday, Scatman? Bolshoi doesn't give a shit. Yeah, I don't really care. The 21st birthday, that's the jam. Then I stopped caring, although I will say 40 was a big one for me. I had a bash for my 40th. We had a really fun time. We'll probably do a nice dinner. You're right, Mancini. So listen, I was talking about it yesterday. I'm still curious. I know it's mostly the same people in here. What I don't understand is why was the movie The Audition received so well? Why did so many people say that that was a great movie? I thought it was trash. The actor is Aquarius. Got it. Got it. So I'll tell you where I'm at now with Dexter. Right now, so Deb caught Dexter. She now knows who he is. She knows that he's a serial killer. Honestly, I'm not really happy with what's going on right now. I don't like this little scenario. We'll see where it goes. Oh, it's Jason's birthday. Oh my God, how could I forget, Scatman? How could I forget? And I just went public with it. I'll never hear the end of this now. Tater Tot says, I gave my grandmother an RKO at Christmas dinner for not passing the gravy fast enough. What happened? Did she survive? Muse, Hysteria, or Franz Ferdinand, take me out. Hey, you don't know. Take me out. I'm going with Muse, though. I like Muse. Franz Ferdinand, I forgot about them. Jason will turn 40 years old this year, although he's been saying he's 40 for years. I'm 40. I look great. For at least, for more than 3 years, because he was saying that before I went to prison. Do I believe that Arnold was pissed at Dorian in the 90s because Dorian let Lee beat Arnold's record? I never heard that. I've heard some interesting things from the judges, right? So Lee goes in and gets 8, sails off into the sunset very young. Probably wasn't gonna beat Dorian though the year after that, right? Ronnie Coleman gets 8, and then they say that's it for him. Phil Heath starts getting close, and they say that's it. Now, I don't know if we'll ever see that happening again. The question is, what's Jason getting you for his birthday? I know I'm not getting anything from Jason. Oh, thanks, Mancini. Thank you. I'm trying to stay as young and youthful and vibrant as I can. What are your thoughts on wearing a plate carrier on the stair stepper? Beneficial waste of energy? I definitely think it's beneficial. Listen, guys, part of the issue with doing cardio is the more you do it, the easier it gets, and if you're doing things the right way, you're losing weight, so you have less resistance. So how can you make it more challenging? Boom. You can go faster, you can change the intensity. One way of changing the intensity is by adding some resistance to your body. So no, I don't think it's a waste of energy. Badabuco says Arnold was a gatekeeper, a bit overrated. There were better bodybuilders in his era and after. So I agree with you. However, I don't know if bodybuilding would have been what it turned into if it wasn't for Arnold. He was the right man at the time. I don't think Arnold was a better bodybuilder than Sergio Oliva. No way. Sergio Oliva was ridiculous. Now, that being said, Arnold had some really great shots. And the arms were just insane. So, Arnold making that crossover into Hollywood unlocked so many doors. And for a little while, bodybuilding was actually celebrated. It was looked at way different than it is now, guys. It was looked at way different. You had bodybuilding all over the place. You had bodybuilding on ESPN in the morning. You had all these action movie stars in the 80s that were bodybuilders. And that all came from Arnold. So, Mancini says he's like The Rock now. How many miles do I walk on the treadmill? Not that far. Senior Unchained. You know, I'm only walking 3 miles per hour, which is slow. So if I do an hour with you guys, which I do sometimes, then I get, 3 miles in. Oil up, big boy. Why people call Flex Wheeler Sultan of Symmetry? He has uneven lats during lat spread. When he was young and he first came on the scene, he was certainly one of the most aesthetic guys ever. For sure. Everything was round, deep muscle insertions. But there are plenty of other guys that were also very aesthetic. So as far as, symmetry and aesthetics go, I don't know who I could say was the most symmetrical ever. Now, symmetry has changed in bodybuilding now. Because now you've got guys that are so freaky that they're really not as symmetrical, a lot of them. Surgeon Bray better than Arnold, so they smeared him. Arnold was the chosen one, but not the greatest of all. Yeah, there was some, like I said, there were some great guys at that time. But I think that they knew, the powers that be knew, that this could make this organization humongous. And from a business standpoint, which is what it is regardless, how can we make this thing as big as possible? I don't think it would have happened with anybody else because of his charisma and what he was doing with Hollywood. The problem with bodybuilding and bodybuilders over the years is many of the very good bodybuilders are extremely recluse. Case in point would be Dorian Yates. Literally would go into hiding all year, training like a maniac in a dungeon gym, show up, smash everybody, and then disappear again for another year. And from a business standpoint, that drove them crazy. And now I'm not speaking because I know that this is what they thought, but as a business owner, of course it would have drove me crazy. You want that guy out there in front of everybody. So the guys with the charisma that are doing more outside of it, you want that. You want that guy campaigning for your sport. I liked American Muscle on ESPN too, New World Muscle. That was a cool time. Black Rain, 1989 with Michael Douglas, or Year of the Dragon, 1985 with Mickey Rourke. Good movies. I'm gonna go Black Rain. There's some good scenes in that movie with Michael Douglas. We're going old school. Jennifer Love Hewitt or Jamie Presley back in the day. Both of them hit their peaks as young women, which happens a lot. Now, I've always been a MILF guy, not a youngster guy. Different looks. Jennifer Love Hewitt had the very cute, sweet, innocent girl next door look. Jamie Presley had more of the slutty look. But Jennifer Love Hewitt had the nice, perky, bouncy boobs. So I'm going Jennifer Love Hewitt. Badabuco says, I think I've said this before, but Chris Cormier was the most gifted genetically bodybuilder with Sean Ray and Flex. Yes, so Chris, structurally and size, honestly, he had both of those guys on structure and size. And he's really nailed it before. So I think that with Chris, it probably came down to putting it all together at the right time on the right page. And listen, man, I'm not going to talk trash about him for partying because he's my buddy. I love Chris. He's an awesome guy, and he did a lot of great things for the sport, and he still does. But maybe he did party too much. I don't know. People have always said that about him, and he had some fun. I've heard some great stories. He's told me some funny-ass ones. But he did a lot, that's for sure. Mancini says, I prefer bodybuilders back then compared to now. Me too. And I hate to be that, my era was better, but my favorite era was the 90s, for sure, for bodybuilding. The late 90s, when I was in high school, was an amazing time for bodybuilding. Bolshoi says, I plan to visit USA for following 4 years as tourist. Which states do you recommend to visit? If you come into USA, I'm going to give you the breakdown. You got to go to New York City. It's crazy. You got to see it. It's the craziest place in the world, even though it's gone to shit. You got to come down to South Florida and either go to Miami or Fort Lauderdale. Boca's a little laid back. You got to go to Texas. Go to Dallas. Dallas is awesome. And you got to go to California. Now listen, San Diego's a beautiful place. It's a much nicer place than LA. LA is a dump. And there's some nice places in Northern Cali, like San Fran. So you got to hit those spots. Those are probably my top 4. Different people will tell you different things. I know people that love the Pacific Northwest. I've not spent any time up there. My parents, when I was young, used to always rave about how much they loved Maine. You go up to Maine in the summer, and it's not as hot, but it's beautiful, and you get a log cabin, you do all that. I don't know. Mancini says, Jennifer Love Hewitt was the best. I know you did last summer. I agree. What do you think of Dale's love mentor, Cornelius? Is he knowledgeable or just autistic? I don't know. I can't say that I know as much about him. Get Shorty with Travolta or the whole 9 yards with Bruce Willis. I'm going Bruce Willis. on that one. Not great movies, though, personally, if you ask me. What contributed to Cody Montgomery being a teenage phenom? Great genetics. Great genetics. Some of the best genetics, honestly, I've seen at a young age. He could eat so many carbs and not get fat and just grow. So sure, I don't know what his drug protocol was, but freaky genetics. Nathan High says San Diego for best food. Yeah, there's some great spaces to eat out there. Like if you're going Cali, man, you should probably go San Diego. But there's a lot of nice places out there in Cali. Bolshoi says Florida, Miami, definitely my checklist. California is also great nature. New York is expensive, yes. It's just a crazy place, man. Just to experience it, it's so crazy. Just to go through, Times Square and Broadway and all that. There's so much going on up there. Phoebe Cates or Brooke Shields? Phoebe Cates just for the one scene. You know the one I'm talking about. Salt and Pepper. Push it. Or MC Hammer. Too legit to quit. I gotta go MC Hammer. Woo! All right, I'm getting close to 45 minutes. I'm starting to slow down here, guys. I feel a little rumbling in my stomach. Which I had to hit the potty before I got on here. So I don't know, maybe I ate something weird. I hope not. Who do I have going to the Super Bowl this year? Good question. It seems like the Vikings are very good. What do you guys think? For the AFC, I don't know. The Eagles are also very good in the NFC. For the AFC, I hate the Chiefs so much. Who else is good in the AFC? I don't know. It looks like it's going to be an NFC year this year. Although I admit I've slacked quite a bit on paying attention to football this year. Name the 3 best states for bodybuilders. Texas, California, and probably Florida, but New Jersey, New York area also. Boiler Room, 2000 or Glengarry Grant. Oh, man, very good movies. I think most people would say Glenn Ross. But I'm going to actually go with Boiler Room. I'm going to be a little different. Nathan says you might as well head up Vegas too. Yeah, listen, Vegas is is an awesome place. It's not even a city. It's just a giant mess of hotels and shit. But yes, it is a city, obviously, right? But it's a lot different than if you're going to, San Diego or New York City or Miami. You're going to Vegas, you're going to party. Don't go to Vegas if you don't want to party. But I'll tell you, you can party better than anywhere else in Vegas, for sure. Mancini says the Saints, okay. Tater Tot says, I'm 38, been working on Natty for the last 6 years. If I hop on tier 2, will I notice improvement instantly? Yeah, you will. It's not going to be like mind-blowing, but you're going to start being like, wow, I'm feeling stronger, more energized. My body's starting to look better. So, 38 is a great age to start, especially if you've already been natty for 6 years. Fury 2014 or Empire of the Sun 87. Fury, I liked Fury a lot. Flashdance or Coyote Ugly. I loved Coyote Ugly. It was a corny movie, but I'm going Coyote Ugly. Mancini says Taylor Swift's going to get him there. Boston, more than a feeling, or owner of a lonely heart. I'm going Boston. Boston had some bangers. Would you put Delray Beach on the bucket list? Listen, I love Delray Beach, guys. I've been here for 10 years or whatever. It's a great place. It's a beautiful beach. It's a nice area. But if I'm from out of the country and I'm coming here, I'm probably going South Beach, Miami, places like that. But I would rather live in Delray Beach all day. Last one, Men in Black or Independence Day. I am going with Independence Day for show on that one. And Speedy Gonzalez, because, I stick with my Hispanic community. Speedy Gonzalez had a cousin, by the way, that was the opposite of him. And his name was Slowpoke Rodriguez. It's a little trivia for you guys. A lot of you guys might not know about Slowpoke Rodriguez. Muchas gracias, Bolshoi. All right, guys. I love you all. And it's the weekend. We got it through. I only did 4 days this week. I know. I decided to rest on Wednesday. But we'll be back full speed next week. God bless you guys. I love you all. Peace out. Bye.